Hayes there's in the back of another video. So yeah, even before the game against West Ham, we saw those links to Mudric. I think it was 40 million with 20 millions in add-ons, which is quite good. That's a decent price as well. And then during the game, we saw him post about how he wanted to come to, or not wanted to come to Arsenal, but he posted clips of Nketiah after he scored his goals to his celebration. So it kind of makes it seem like obviously he wants to come to us, and it would help us in the negotiation as well, because if the club understands that the player only wants to go to one place, they can't really try and out and they can't really try and raise the price where it becomes too high for us to go for it. So that kind of helps us in the negotiation as well, and it's good when the player does that because he helps us in terms of securing the transfer. So that's good, and I feel like we just have to give it some time. I feel like that should be done. I don't think it should be something that's difficult to get done based on the way we went in and based on him wanting to come to Arsenal. So yeah. And then before the game started, like I think like I saw like a clip of some fans outside the stadium singing loud, having like a massive banner that they were taking to the stadium and things like that. And that was beautiful to watch. It's good to see because obviously in the past we've called Emirates the library and stuff like that, and at times the fans haven't always been too excited or about what was going on. Obviously, because we've had so many unfortunate things that's happened to us, or we weren't performing at the level that the fans required of us and things like that. So seeing something like that happen shows that the club is going in the right direction. Everyone is believing. Everyone believes we're actually going to win the league title. Everyone believes that even if we're not going to win the league title at the moment, everyone believes that we're going in the right direction. So seeing something like that was beautiful to see. It was good to see. It just reminds you of some of the bigger clubs and the fan bases that they have, and how passionate the fans are. Obviously, we know how passionate our fans are, but when you see things like that, it just reaffirms it as well to others, for others to see also. So that was another good thing. But then when the game started, obviously, so straight to the game. When the game started, we had a good start. We controlled the game really well. We had a good start. I think there was a call. There might have been a call for penalty or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but we had a really good start, and we had that goal that was declined as well. So we had a good start, but then they scored through that penalty that they had. Who made a foul? Saliba. So they had like a counter attack in transition on the break, and then Saliba made the foul in the box. I feel it was kind of light, but he shouldn't have left his foot out there for the player for Bowen to go over it. He shouldn't have left his foot out there. He should have at least stayed on his feet or tried to chase him. But I felt like he probably felt it was like a last ditch kind of thing, and he had no other choice but to reach out for us, which is why he went for it. But it's something that he'll learn from anyways. He's a young centre back. But as soon as they scored that penalty, the pressure we put on West Ham was insane. Like immediately after that, we just pressure them and just pressure them over and over. You could see us creating chances over and over. We created so many chances. We were on them. They couldn't even get out of their box. We were in the final third continuously, just circulating the ball, passing the ball around and things like that. And that was what. Just over and over again, and the key behind all of that was Odegaard. For me, Odegaard had an unbelievable performance. For me, he was man of the match right from the beginning. As soon as we went behind, you could see that we were chasing the game, and he was the best player. He was the one just dropping deep, receiving the ball, finding players in the wide areas, linking up players on the sides, just constantly creating situations over and over and over again. And then even the chance that even before we even got the goal, there was a chance that he played a long pass that he played to I think it was the Saka. He played a pass from really deep and he split the whole team and went straight to Xhaka as well. And he did another one as well to Nketiah, the one that was ruled offside. Again, he was just constantly playing these passes. And the thing is, he would have the ball on the right hand side and he would dribble across the defensive line, pulling players out of position and just probing them, and then he'll just slip one little pass in the side or into the left hand side or in the middle or like a little cutback. He just kept doing that over and over and over and over again. It was just unbelievable performance from him. He had a great game. I feel like he's having a great season as well. Just overall, and when you think about it, he's got what 6 goals and 4 assists, so he's got 10 goal contribution so far this season, which is a lot already, only halfway for the season. So, and he's going to continue to keep on adding to that as well. So that was great to see. It was a fantastic performance. I mean, because at the start of the season, we did say we wanted to see him to be a bit more direct in certain games like this, or in these kind of games, for him to be a bit more direct and have more end products in the final third and stuff like that, and just be a bit more what was the word? Just to be a bit more decisive in the final third, and we're seeing that recently. He's scoring goals, he's getting assists, and this game was just another showing of that as well. And then you can even see it for the goal for Saka, where he obviously I feel like that was a shot, obviously, but that was all based around him just being very direct. He was just really direct the whole game, and that ended up leading to Saka again that 1v1 and then scoring that. And then what? The second goal was Martinelli's goal as well. And again, it started from Odegaard on the right hand side as well, playing the passes, dropped that back down, played it to Xhaka. Xhaka then got the ball to Martinelli, who then hit the ball on his left. And then with the third goal, we had Nketiah scoring that goal. Another again, Odegaard. The thing is, again, you see he's just probing and probing and probing, and then as defenders are starting to come out of their shape and the gaps are starting to open, he just plays a nice little pass that just goes around the corner again. And Nketiah, obviously, that was a nice roll from Nketiah, rolled the defender, got that, smashed it straight in. So that was beautiful to see from Odegaard. It was fantastic. Contributed to every single goal that we scored. Great performance from him. Created 5 chances, had like 6 shots. So that was a sick performance from Odegaard. Great game from him, and I feel like he's just gonna continue to keep on improving. For me, he looks like he doesn't seem like someone that's loud, but he reminds me of a kind of captain like Fabregas, where he's more of like a captain that just shows like he leads through examples, so you see what he's doing, and the players can pick up on that. And it's not just the fact that he's a great player in terms of playmaking and offensively and creatively, but it's also the fact that defensively he doesn't leave the team as well. He's helping us to press, he's dropping deep to help us to defend in our shape and things like that. So when obviously the others are saying that and your captain is doing that, you're gonna have to follow ahead, because you see your captain doing something like that, you also have to take the lead and do the same thing as well that he's doing. So that was great to see from what Odegaard is doing, and I feel like he's a great captain. Initially, when he got the armband, I didn't see why he got the armband, but when you think about it now and you look at his performance and the way he leads on the pitch, is good. I mean, I can see why he got the armband. And then the next thing I was mentioning as well is obviously at the moment we've got the best wingers in the land. For me, in terms of like having pair of wingers, I can't think of a team that has better like 2 wingers like at the same time on the pitch that's better than what we have in Saka and Martinelli, and the possibility of us adding Modric to that as well is insane as well. And I'm thinking like Saka, for me, I said this like time ago when I was like, I feel like Saka just does so many things here, where it's like because of how good he is or how good he's shown, it's like it just goes under the radar and you forget that he's still a very young player who's doing these things. So when you take Odegaard, for example, this insane performance from Odegaard, where he created 5 chances. Saka created 4 chances. You know what I mean? And scored a goal as well. But it's like it's become like the norm with Saka, where he's just doing these things and it's just there, you know what I mean, and he's just not spoken of because he's just a great player, you know what I mean, because he's just being accepted. But he's very young. The things he's doing is not just normal for players his age to be this consistent, and he's very consistent. He's been consistent constantly, like the whole season, the same thing. And I think he's got like 11 goal contributions already. He's got like I think 5 goals and 6 assists this season, something like that. But 11 goal contribution in like 14 in 15 games. The guy is unbelievable, man. From Saka, and it's just crazy for us to have him and also to have Martinelli as well. Martinelli, I couldn't believe that goal. I feel like Martinelli needs to get into more goal scoring positions. So I like the way when he received that ball, he received it, he was kind of central, he wasn't too wide. And the thing is, if Martinelli receives a lot centrally like that, he's going to get a goal because he's got a good shot, he's very direct, he will attack the box, and he's got good composure in the box as well. So when he receives in that kind of situation, I was kind of surprised that he hit the ball with his left foot as well, because we're not seeing too much of that, but it just shows the confidence he has and how direct he is as well. But like, that's what we need to see. We need to see him more receiving inside a lot more. If he receives a lot more inside, I feel like he's gonna bang and get more goals. He's already got 5 goals already, and it's only halfway through the season. So he can get 10. I feel like Martinelli can get 10, Saka can get 10, and even Odegaard can get 10 as well. You know what I mean? If we have all these guys getting 10, including our strikers, that's a good goal return from our front four. But again, back to Martinelli as well, as I was saying. And I feel like we need for him to be, because at times he's really wide when he's receiving. So it's like all he has to really do is dribble and then like create by making crosses or cutbacks and things like that. But I want to see more situations whereby he's actually receiving centrally, and then for that to happen, he needs the fullback to overlap, and then needs the centre mids to also overlap as well and give him the space so he can actually and occupy the space that he's taking up, so he can actually go on the inside and get into these situations, because he's very direct, and if he's in there a lot more, we'll probably see a lot more goals from him in that sense. So that was good from him. Another situation I wanted to see again was Nketiah. I mean, another person I want to talk about, Nketiah. I did like a video, like a pre-video to like the game, and I spoke about Nketiah, and what I said in that video was that when you look at what Gabriel Jesus offers, they have kind of similar profiles in that sense. Like they're quick, they drop deep to link up play, they can receive the ball, in deep areas. They can make runs into the channels. They can make runs behind. When they have the ball in their feet, they can carry the ball. They can dribble the ball. They get into positions to score goals. They do, and then they also help in terms of pressing as well. They press really well consistently. Like Nketiah was pressing until the 90th minute. He was still pressing and even got the ball in one situation as well. So it's like they've got quite similar profiles. The part where I felt like Gabriel Jesus maybe was where Gabriel Jesus surpasses Nketiah is in terms of in terms of the link up play. I feel like Jesus is a lot sharper in that link up play in terms of like when he's dribbling, his decision making, his passing that he plays in, and the way he links with the team is the little combination plays. I feel like Jesus does that a lot better than Nketiah. But Nketiah for me is, at this point, it's probably more composed in front of goal. I mean, we've known Nketiah for being a really good poacher anyways. So in front of goal, because Jesus hasn't had the best time this season in terms of goals, but I feel like Nketiah probably offers more in that sense right now anyways. So, and then in terms of the link-up play where I say Jesus is better than Nketiah, I don't think Nketiah is actually bad in that sense anyways. Irregardless of what Jesus being better in that sense, Nketiah is still really good in terms of link-up play. He drops really well. He goes into the wide area and he's comfortable receiving deep and wide, running in behind. He's got good presence in the box. He's got good dribbling skills, and he's improved so much. Like even before he got that contract, in the games he was playing in the second half of the season, you can see a big change in him technically and physically as well. He's grown into his frame. He's really good technically. He's refined his game, very efficient technically. He's got good control on the ball, very confident. So when he receives the ball, he's got the confidence to beat players, run past players and carry the ball. So I feel like Nketiah's, I mean, you're not going to find many backup strikers playing at his level. So like what Nketiah's offering for us, for me, is really good. And I feel like he's good enough and he has the right profile for us to continue to play in the way we want to play. I mean, what would have went wrong is if we didn't have Nketiah and we had someone who had a completely different profile, who wasn't able to drop deep to link up play, who wasn't able to press and things like that. And if we had a completely different profile to what Jesus is offering us, we wouldn't be able to replicate the kind of football we replicate, because the way Nketiah and Jesus play is that because of how much they do outside the box and they drop deep and they're able to drop wide and receive the ball and also still be a presence, it allows other players to also make runs into the box because they can swap positions and occupy their spaces in other areas. So when that happens, it allows the other players to also get into the box and get situations where they can score goals. So that's why we're seeing a lot of goals. That's why we're seeing the likes of Saka get into these goal scoring positions, the likes of Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard all get into these positions, because we have strikers that are able to contribute off the ball and make these kind of runs and drop deep and help with the pressing defensively. I saw one part when we were defending against West Ham, we dropped back into this 4-4-2, and it's like they couldn't even beat the front two we had, which was Nketiah and Odegaard. They couldn't even get past them, which shows how good these guys are working defensively. They dropped so deep into our half, and they were pressing the West Ham player on the ball, and they just couldn't get the ball, so they had to go into the wide area and try to get through them and try to attack us that way. So it shows how hard both Odegaard and Nketiah are working, and then the same with Jesus as well when he was available and pressing. So like I don't think we're gonna miss the work rate that Jesus was offering with Nketiah. The work rate for me is still gonna be maintained. There's just gonna be obviously a little difference in terms of the technical quality, in terms of the link play, but I feel like Nketiah is able to offer this, and I think we need to give him time and give him the patience, give him our confidence. He's a really confident player, so I feel like we need to give him all of that, and he's gonna be able to offer. I think he can produce for us. And then the last thing I want to talk about as well is the way we ended the game. We ended the game really well. I mean, I've spoken about this over and over again, like a few times, over and over again, on multiple videos or a few videos, where I've said like we need to be able to monopolize possession, keep the ball. You see it with Pep's teams in the past, with the Barca team, the Man City team, or the Bayern team, like, or any great possession team. You see how they close out games. They close out games by keeping the ball, passing it sideways, rotating possession, keeping the other team, just frustrating them and allowing them to, and then they're gonna force their way out because they're trying to get the ball. Like teams that don't usually press, they're gonna start forcing themselves to come out to try and press because they want to get the ball back. And when we brought on Zinchenko, that closed the game out for me. You saw our build-up play was beautiful with Zinchenko in there. Zinchenko's a baller. Our build-up play was beautiful. We just kept on playing one-touch passes, linking up play. It was just really good to see us close out a game like that. And there was no situation where, but I mean, there was one situation. I think it was Fornals who had a long shot, but that was literally the only chance that they had. So that was good to see us close the game out like that. But yeah, anyways, that's it with me for this video. See you guys in the next video.